Okay, it's Mr. O'Mara here, and I'm going to talk about a thing called the comma splice, which I'll refer to as the dreaded comma splice. This is not a major sin in that it doesn't actually make your writing unreadable, but it is the sign of an amateur writing, and it is a sort of thing that, as you're a grown-up, it's the distinction between people who are careful with their writing and people who are not. So it's good to understand it and avoid it nice and early in the piece. There is a very quick way to get rid of it, however. So, if we got a comma in the middle of a sentence, we look at each side of the comma and we ask ourselves, if each side can stand alone, then the comma is a problem. So, that's easy to say, but how do we know if they can stand alone? Well, here's what a standalone sentence has, and this sounds a little bit technical, but it really isn't. It's got a subject, what the sentence is about, and it's got a predicate, which is what's happening with that subject. So, you get those two things together and you've got an independent clause. And an independent clause is just a sentence and it can stand on its own. So for instance, the dog sat down. The subject is the dog. And what did the dog do? It sat down. So that's a sentence. Next one. So that one there can get the tick. That can go green for good work. That one there by the window, that doesn't have a subject. It doesn't say who is by the window. It doesn't even say particularly what they're doing. It just says where they are. So that's detail, but it can't stand on its own. And if you say it, you will hear that it in fact doesn't stand alone. So what we can do is in fact put those two things together. There we go. So pop a comma in there. Let's apply our test. The dog sat down. Yes, that can stand alone. By the window, no, that can't. So the comma's not a problem. Okay, let's have another look. The cat walked by. Who is this about? This is about the cat. What did the cat do? It walked by. Okay, we have ourselves a valid sentence there. So it can go green as well. Let's have a look, see whether I can do this without any great fuss. Yeah, maybe not. Oh, there it is. Okay, so let's go green. Watching the dog. Again, this is not a complete sentence. We know if we put them together that it's the cat watching the dog, but we don't know that otherwise. But if we join them together, comma, watching the dog, then we can see that watching the dog is adding detail to that sentence. So we'll just have a quick look at that. Actually, you know what? No. Perhaps I can be bothered. Very indecisive here. Again, these are fine. But if we have a sentence such as, the dog barked, comma, the cat ran. Like that. Now, let's have a look. The dog. What did the dog do? It barked. Okay? So that goes green. That's a standalone sentence. The cat. What did the cat do? The cat ran. Okay. This is also a standalone sentence. So, what did our rule say? If each side can stand alone, then the comma is a problem. So each side can stand alone. They should not be joined together with a comma. So how do we fix it? Well, first of all, we can just grab that, which I'm going to do. Alright, I'm just going to make it two sentences. That's my first solution. The dog barked, full stop. The cat ran. Fine. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop in a conjunction. So, the dog barked before the cat ran, as the cat ran, and the cat ran. But the cat ran. Hundreds of conjunctions that you can use. These are a good way to join together the sentence, and it's perfectly okay to put a comma in there, which you'd normally do in a longer sentence, just to make it clear that you're about to shift across to another subject and another predicate. But you don't have to. It's perfectly okay to leave it like that. And one thing that you can do, which is a good sign of a sophisticated writer, is a thing called a semicolon, and there it is. The dog barked, the cat ran. And what that says to your reader is, you know what, these two things are related. So, let's do a little bit of revision before we finish. Before the storm starts, I need to bring in the washing. Well, before the storm starts there's nobody doing anything in this. The storm's in it, but the storm's not actually starting. It's saying before the storm starts. Okay, so that can't stand alone. What do I need to do? I need to bring in the washing. Okay, so that can stand on its own, that can't, a comma is fine. The storm is starting. So what's happening in this? The storm, what is it doing? It's starting. Fine. So that's green. I need to bring in the washing. What do I need to do? I need to bring in the washing. So that's green as well, which means that they cannot have a comma in between them. I'm probably going to say, so I need to bring in the washing. Put a little conjunction in there after a comma. That joins them together nicely. It explains that I'm doing one thing because of the other. Okay, I called my brother. So this sentence is about I. What did I do? I called my brother. Good. He is really happy at the moment. There we go. That's actually two sentences. Green and green. So once again, we have a situation here that we need to fix. Now what I'm going to do, I'm probably not going to use a semicolon here because that kind of suggests that he is happy because I called him. So I'm just going to say I called my brother and he is really happy at the moment, because the semicolon kind of suggests that one thing caused the other. So that's all a comma splice is. So just to recap, have a look at it. If each side can stand alone, if each side has a subject and a predicate, then you need to make it two sentences, you need to pop in a conjunction, or you need to use a semicolon. A little bit complicated, but I'm pretty sure you'll have it by now.